Greetings, ladies and gents, and welcome to this latest narration of the web series There Is No Epic Lucha, Only Puns. If you're new to the series, there is a playlist listed down below in the description, and as always, I hope that you enjoy. Chapter 196, The Argus Story. That dream came again. It had dulled over the years, but always willing to rise when his guard was down. It always started with a hand clamping on his child's self's shoulder. "It's okay. You're going to see your home grow like never before," the kind voice promised. The image seemed to almost melt away before him. The green trees and healthy earth becoming rotted and wrong. Life blended together in horrible amalgamations, while the very air boiled. A friendly hand still gripped his shoulder. Ch.196 looked up at the blank eyes of Riptoy. "You're going to grow like never before." Then the hand began to melt into his skin, bringing them closer as one being before Ch.196 shot awake from his nap in the barracks cots. In a flash, he brought forth the core weapon, a silver blade instantly dulling his panic and fear until it cooled to a controllable determination. The tool he had was a key to putting dungeons in their place, but the lesser-known effect was that it halved your emotions when it was active. A handy tool when you were 40 floors deep in a dungeon watching your men get massacred by monsters or devious traps. It kept you grounded. He climbed out of the cot, putting the core weapon away for now, as he was awake. Such night terrors had become rarer, but he had a feeling that they would never truly go away until he made certain wrongs into rights. He scowled at a mirror as he tried to sum up the results of trying to get his badge back. Yatina didn't sleep. She barely ate, and she had the social graces of a scorpion that adopted field mice. It was impossible to get close to her. It was becoming impossible for him to do it, but he wasn't close to giving up. A knock sounded and Ch.196 called for them to come in, revealing the suspicious face of Yatina's little apprentice, Lim. "Can I help you, sir?" he said. The title said with clear distaste. Ch.196 had such an urge to admonish him, but was simply too tired to care right now. Technically, they were sort of the same rank, but he didn't focus on that other than to indicate for Lim to join him at the table. "Now stand," he said. Ch.196 nodded as he went to his private specialty sealed lockbox. It would have been a good hiding place for his key, but he couldn't watch the lockbox all day and night like he could his badge. Like he once could. He returned to the table with a simple book that opened using a special protective spell and a drop of his blood. "Let me tell you why I think you should help me and help your commander for your own benefit," he said simply, and Lim scoffed, looking ready to turn and leave that very minute. Ch.196 placed 3 photos down on the table, taken at great expense with technology that was still being developed too slowly to be used commercially. Lim gave them a brief look, already dismissing them when he paused and then looked back at them again. Ch.196 didn't say anything, just letting the pictures speak for themselves. "Who is that?" Lim asked slowly, turning so he was fully facing Ch.196. "Director Riptoy, in all 3, he said, and Lim picked up one of the pictures. No, that isn't right," Lim said, as he gestured to the picture down of Riptoy smiling and the opening of official Fairplay HQ, surrounded by people clapping and beaming faces. "I have no reason to lie about this, nor did I expect to have to show you this. The second picture was taken over 30 years ago. Riptoy's is a little heavier, a little grayer." Ch.196 pressed on, sliding in closer to Lim. The picture showed Riptoy in a secluded resort place, looking like he was taking time off with some close people. He was clearly past his prime, but not what one would dare to call to his face old. Riptoy looked tired, but happy. "These have to be fake," Lim accused, and Ch.196 ignored the stupid idea. He would waste a small fortune on making pictures to convince them. The audacity. "The last was taken about 5 years ago, at the 50th anniversary of Fairplay HQ being opened. It had just finished its renovations and manor piping. It was a big event," Ch.196 continued, looking down at the very much old Riptoy, who looked grumpy and sour like a war commander. It was obvious his closed circle had shrunk again, and Lim swallowed hard. "I don't," he hesitated, and looked at all 3 pictures. There was a knock, and Ch.196 swooped up the pictures, pushing them back into his book. The next moment, Gentle entered with a letter. "Lim, Commander, Yatina wants us to go to the sewer. Gear up," he said excitedly. Lim nodded, still looking harrowed. Lim gave Ch.196 one last strange look and quickly left with Gentle. Once the door was closed, Ch.196 looked at the pictures himself. The first of the opening of Fairplay, where Riptoy held the shy hands of a young boy. The next one where he tossed a ball of sorts to the same boy, and in the last one, where the same boy stood alert behind Riptoy. Argus Gentle was as old as Fairplay itself, older, perhaps, and it was the thing that haunted Kayleen's nightmares when Riptoy was too busy. If it was Gentle and not something else, the boy acted blissfully unaware that he was close to 70 years old. A dozen movements that would be impossible to fake every second of every day. Gentle was a child in mind, but clearly not of body. Director Riptoy was hiding some very old skeletons in his closet, and one of the Bone Pals murdered his family. Dayline would burn the boy, the company, this town, and so much more to bring that man's sins to light. Then they would all burn together. His stomach began to gurgle, and he grimaced. "I didn't say anything aloud about his backwater hov," he yelled, then began to gag. Seconds later, a detailed swan made of Southridge cheese landed on the table, and Kaline sank into the ground. He hated cheese so much, especially the kind that had pointy bits carved on them. "Argus?" Argus blinked as Lim hesitated to follow him down the dark corridor to the main hall. "Are you a demonic elder being who pretends to be a young child?" he asked, and Argus stared at him. I can't even handle being a teenager," he said back with a flat tone. "But you would tell me if you were 40, 50, maybe even 70 years old?" Lim pressed. "Yes, Lim. I will inform you when I find out that I should be collecting kingdom-wide elderly support money," he said, finding this amusing, then confusing. "Why the questions?" he asked, and Lim hesitated. "I saw pictures of you when Fairplay opened 50 years ago," he blurted out, and Argus blinked once. "I was there," he said easily as they walked. "Oh, good, I was what?" Lim stopped, dead in his tracks, boots making squeaky noises as he slid. Argus winced, but tried to put on a smile. "I'm not well, I'm sort of sick in the incurable bloodline way. I've been since my stepfather found me. I should be dead, but Dad has this amazing friend who built him a ceramic chronostasis lockbox, and I would go to sleep in it until medical developments were made. It was extremely costly. Dad had to build this HQ over a massive mana line just to power it. I never liked the box. It was always more of a pot," Argus admitted quietly. "I wake up and every time it's my birthday, so I would spend the weekend together or something before I get back to sleep," he explained. "Oh," Lim muttered. "I know. Apparently my dad and his friend fell out because the trade was that the man would be able to study the Fairplay maidens, but then they all sort of just vanished together. He was supposed to study me, but Dad was against it," Argus mused as they found Utina waiting in the hall. "So, you're not an elderly demonic being waiting for the right time to stab us all in the back and reveal your master plan and rule the world?" Lim asked again. "Lim, I'm a double watch duty tonight. I can't fit sleep into my schedule, let alone all that," Argus said, throwing his hands up. "Elderly demonic beings don't come to this world due to the rampant music festivals. Hurts their ears," Utina said without looking up. Lim perked up and they began chatting about demons and the power of loud music as they exited the Fairplay doors. For a long moment, Argus lingers to the back and down the dark hallway, his exasperation now a tight frown. Then he was gone into the light. Farah put down a plate of golden eggs from the second floor's jungle, crispy bacon while Delta knew that it came from the cute little piggles. Farah put it in a smiley face, so it was okay. Next time, it would be big juicy sausages and various vegetables pulped together to make what looked like toast. Strangely, no one had ever bought bread, buns, or given wheat or flour to Delta to get the basic foodstuff down. The most ready things they made came from Farah's creative ability to scare food into looking like other food. "I can't wait to pretend to eat this," Delta exclaimed as a cup of tea was added to the selection. She poked a piece of cute bacon, and it broke apart into bacon-flavored motes, which she passed her face through a few times, getting the scent of bacon. Did she make it herself? Delta would make food she could eat, but anything made by others, it was a work in progress. She had continued to work on an avatar in secret, but the results were nightmarish. Mushrooms just kept creeping into the process somewhere, and it was disarming to say the least. "New, how's the updates?" she asked around the cloud of tea. Her blue screen unfolded much like a newspaper. 5 more groups reached Fran. Only 2 got through. None beat Wyam. One was left crying, curled up like a ball in the corner after Wyam recited things she would do to him. One got lost in the honey pools, and one had a cathartic session at the hot springs and decided to quit being an adventurer to become a dentist. Delta blinked. "What did Wine even say?" she asked in both dismay and slight admiration. Something about paper cuts, finger webs, and slits, New said airily. And here I thought she was going to go more mentally offensive than torture, Delta said with a shake of her head as she enjoyed some eggs. She did. She just went into very graphic detail, New promised. Wyme's existence is graphic, Delta countered. I appreciate her creativity, New said, and carried on to the next section. Rudy left a message saying that a new group had come into town. She wrote it on a napkin and tossed it down the stairs. She said that they're either excitedly wrong or extremely strong. It was hard to decipher the message around her lunch stains, New went on. I think people just stating things and refusing to admit they're wrong would hurt me more than being thrashed, Delta said slowly as she put the plate down and stared at the ground. The horror, the very idea of experiencing such a character. I cry for you. Delta eyed the blue screen. I was never wrong. I just had misconceptions and panic attacks, she said succinctly. Speaking of panic attacks, your dragon is ready and Hero said it's taking up a lot of space. You might want to do something about it, New said, reading a message Delta couldn't see. New, where on earth am I supposed to put a Death Star dragon? She demanded, then froze. Well, tactfully, it would be... Delta stood up. Delta, I know that look. I have an idea, she mumbled and moved. In no time at all, she appeared on the 4th floor. She looked around and found her target. Oh, futures, she cried with a wide smile. The little snake eyed her with sleepy eyes as it emerged from the subterranean cave underwater. She held it and focused very hard on what she wanted. Warning, critters are not monsters or nor traps of the dungeon, messing with their base blueprint. The sort of default warning popped up with over 600 pages of conditions and issues known to appear. Skip, she announced, and there was a new screen with 20 suggestions on what else to do with the dragon. Skip, she said brightly. There were now 2 pages of dire warnings and suggestions. Skip, Delta said, becoming a little impatient. The box was reduced to a single choice. Do you accept the consequences of your own actions in the event of dire outcomes and unpredictable disasters? Remind me later in 30 days, she said, and flicked the box away to reveal her idea. Raid Boss Creation, Ophiuchus, the Death Star constellation, can be brought forth by one or more of the following conditions. If a group has killed every being, more than 98% of monsters of the dungeon up to the 4th floor. If a threat level 5 or above is activated. If the number of people on the floor rises above 30. If at least 12 people of different star signs enter the floor at the same time. If someone enters the dungeon while Manu is in retrograde at the same time their birth star is in the 5th house. If someone collects all 12 orbs, Ophiuchus becomes a life-star constellation that has minor but powerful wish-granting ability. While active, the 4th floor expands to twice the size, and Ophiuchus covers the sky with massive serpentine body. These abilities include Suck, Condense, Comet, and Unstoppable Fortune of Ill Omens. Its powerful black hole ability can trap and eject beings into the world, making this one of the few beings able to eject someone from your reality and reinsert your own with style. The comet it can summon down bears one of the 12 star signs. Each will explode in a different manner. Some will explode with force, others with soul-shaking effects, and one with confetti. The confetti comet still hits with enough force to crush powerful defenses. The Condense ability allows Ophiuchus to create gravity well in front of it, eco-friendly in its ability to crush trash into a small portable state or a solid orb the size of a baseball, but with the mass of a horse. Unstoppable Fortune of Ill Omens will cause all in the area to be cursed for the next year of their life. These curses will cover a wide range of effects, including always stubbing one's toe, losing a pen at the worst time, finding worthless currency, winning the lowest possible prize in any competition, swallowing one's drink down the wrong way in an average time frame, being 3 minutes late to everything, and other omens. They can only be broken by the most powerful of religious rituals or moderately powerful gods. Ophiuchus is a servant of Waddles the Duck. If someone is under Waddles' curse and comes to this fight, they will have their chances of winning reduced to 50%. Note, this does not increase the chances of winning if below 50%. Waddles does not hand out participation trophies. "Nu, what is luck, in dungeon terms?" she asked curiously, never having really thought about it before. "Technically, all luck is doing the opposite. Making someone lucky or unlucky is actually the process of inserting stricter limits over the random elements that will affect them. Good luck will actively cause certain things to be repelled or attracted. Money or lovers is a common one. Bad luck directly pushes someone into negative experiences with subtle influence." Dalton mulled this over for a moment. "So there's no chaos involved?" she asked. "Sort of. Luck magic only inserts control over if good or bad things happen. Those exact things are still left up to chance, Neo explained. So all luck magic is chaos but really ordered, Delta tried to grasp. Or look orderly but just a series of messy coincidences that fall into a pattern that looks semi-reasonable, Neo countered. Who even designed this? Delta asked, rubbing her head as she hit create. She would have her dangerous sky noodle. Brother continued to fish as he relaxed. His new whale friend was fast asleep. His nose itched and he followed the sensation to some of his older magics, notably the luck series. He was on the fritz again due to people overindulging in luck charms, rituals, practices, and wistful thinking. That stuff stopped working when the population of people got too large and the magic was running constantly. Brother shook his head. Luck, that stuff will kill you, he told the whale with a somber tone as the magic rock sparked and cracked. It was good luck that they found someone to make their friend. It was bad luck that they were so inept at making gods they drove him insane. It was good luck that they managed to take his eyes. It was bad luck the god blindly lurched into the abyss and found home. It was good luck the only souls it took were in a little metal box on wheels. It was bad luck that it learned that it could take more. Luck, luck, luck. Terrible stuff. Brother would stick to marine life that could shoot light beams and horses with combat horns. End of chapter. I would just quickly like to thank the T5 peeps, Dragon Soup, Cold War Boomerwaffen, Severin Cerberus, Red Panda 121, Leslie 517, Bushmaster 177, Caspar Arnholtz, Cam Maxwell, Sans the Skeleton, Lightjock, Dragzoon WRE, and Lord Azrakal. Thank you very much.